presentation. My name is Simone Versteeg, and I work at Dell as a PR and communication manager, so a little bit of maybe a weird dog in the crowd of today, the audience of today. But I'm also a member of the social media team within Dell, and today I would like to talk to you about how social media is an opportunity for you to drive an open business, and how you can improve your business, be more successful, and be more social. Before I do that, I just want to give a short introduction of Dell. I think you all know our hardware, maybe you have it at home or you work with it daily. But since we were founded in 1984 by Michael Dell, our business has evolved tremendously. We started on the hardware, we have expanded our portfolio to the servers, storage products, services, software division. So we have a complete end-to-end solutions portfolio, which also means that there's a challenge on the social media side. That means that we have the tablets and the ultrabooks gadgets on one side, and we have the storage and the blades on the other side. So how can you products like that with an audience from consumers to IT managers, and how can you combine those into one strategy? We are currently a business with more than 60 billion revenue and more than 110,000 employees globally in 64 countries. So also there's a challenge, how do I manage 100,000 employees on social media? And our strategy is to open social media up. Don't lock your employees in, don't lock your business in, open and embrace both of them to implement social media into your daily business. One of the important things is to have support from the leaders within your company. We are very lucky to have Michael Dell as a CEO. He founded his company as an e-commerce company, so it started direct on the web with direct contact to his customers, building personal products for the customers. So it was all custom made, there was direct contact. So from that point of view, it was for us also a small step to start with social media, and we started that almost 7 years ago now. So we have to look at the company as a whole. Like I mentioned, we have the consumers and we have the enterprise side. At Dell, we have about 80% of our revenue coming from the enterprise side and 20% on the consumer side. So you have to look, where is my audience? Do I go on Facebook? Do I go on LinkedIn? And it means that you have to split your communities and your audience and not create one strategy for both. Some facts that we have today is that we monitor 25,000 online conversations for Dell per day. We do that in our listening command center, which I will tell you a little bit more about later, with 300 search terms. On the social customer care support side, we have about 98% resolution performance. So that's equal to what we do in the customer care department offline. And third, we train our employees. We think it's important to find ambassadors within the company and train them, because everybody is on social media. You can't lock social media from your day-to-day business. So we think it's important to train your employees, make them aware of the opportunities on social media. And we have a social media community, university for that. Where we have now 12,000 employees who did at least one training and 7,000 who did 4 trainings, and then they are certified. But I'll go into a little bit more of that later as well. But it was a journey. It was a 7 years journey by now. So 7 years ago, it was started more on the technical side, where Michael requested from the technical engineers to reach out to their customers. We created a community where IT managers were reaching out to our technical engineers. But when we decided and we saw what social media could bring to our business, we had to think of a strategy. So it was important to look what is the current situation that we are in, what needs do we have, what are the challenges that we are facing up, and how can we make the best out of it. This is an overview of what we did in the past 7 years. I won't go through all details, I will show you a few examples. But there are also things that didn't work. So for example here you see Studio Dell. Studio Dell was a website that we created where we said, okay, everybody can upload videos there, there were podcasts we can run there. But there was another platform that was called YouTube, and that was so strong and all our customers were there. So that's an example of something that we said, okay, it's better not to create our own website there, it's better to join YouTube and find our customers there. So there are also examples of things that we stopped doing after a while. Well, of course, the Twitter, the Facebook, I think you heard about the Dell outlet, we also sold hardware on the Twitter. But a few examples that I want to show you is, for example, IdeaStorm. IdeaStorm is a website, a crowdsourcing website, ideastorm.com, where we invite all people globally to send in their ideas for Dell. You can have ideas on a product level, you can have them on a marketing campaign level. Any idea is more than welcome. It's completely open. So you register there, you log in, you submit your idea, and it's open for everybody to vote on that idea. And the ideas who got the most votes are on top, are being reviewed by Dell, and we also give feedback on the ideas. We say, okay, a great idea, it doesn't work because of that and that reason, or a great idea, and then we are going to implement it. We have it now for 5 years. We have over 18,000 ideas, and I think about more than 500 ideas have been implemented by us. And that also goes for open source. So we also have a lot of requests there, for example, on the Ubuntu side. And in America, for example, now we have an XPS 13 that runs on Ubuntu. So we have many ideas on the software side, on the marketing campaign side, but also ideas for our products, for product improvement. So a great example on how open your company can be, how you can use the ideas of your customers, also your non-customers, because not all of them are customers, and improve your business. Another great example is that we have a listening and command center. We think it's very important that to listen to your customers. I think everybody has heard the sentence, content is king. Well, we think if content is king, listening is queen. Listening is very important, and it doesn't stop with listening. It's about engagement and acting that follows up on that. You have to be able to act on it and change your company or your products when your customers require that, if it's an improvement. Not all of them are an improvement. We have a team that monitors 24/7 online conversations for Dell. Like I said, 25,000 per day. And the goal there is that they are not taking over the role from our customer care departments and local teams, so they are not responding on the conversations. But we do have a place where we can, in an early stage, see what conversations are going on. Is there any kind of crisis coming up somewhere with a product, or are people extremely happy in one area, or are there questions? We run our reports, we work with Radian 6, we have daily reports that we can send out, but we also produce tailor-made reports. So if you're launching a product and you want to see what's being said and the online conversations are around that product, they can run you a report. It's the only center that we currently have. We also developed a center like this for the Red Cross. I'll tell you a little bit about later. And something that we use also in a mobile version. So when we are at events, we have a mobile version of this event to demonstrate how we are listening to our customers. So like I said, it's about listening, it's about engagement, and it's about acting. And I think it's very important not to look at social media as a tool, as a channel, but look at it as a tool. We see it as email, we see it as phone, and then there is social media. It's a customer's choice if they want to reach out to you through social media or any other way. So don't lock them in, give them a choice. But social media, we see, is getting bigger and bigger. Today we are connected through external communities and our own communities with 14 million people. So that's a big number. But how do you integrate social media? There's a lot of discussion in social media part of the communication or the marketing department who owns social media. We think that social media is something that should be integrated in the whole customer experience. So if you look at the businesses, we work with social media. We have 7,000 people who daily work with social media. And those are people on the customer care side, on the marketing side, on sales, on product development. So it's fully integrated in the company, and everybody uses their own platform and their own way of integrating and working with social media. But overall, it has the same goal, and that is to connect with customers and make sure that you improve your business. So our social media and community university, like I said, we have 110,000 employees. So the question is, how do you make sure that they are helping you on social media? It's of no use to forbid it and to lock it. Social media is open, people can have access to social media networks through their personal devices, the Dell devices, all day. And we think it's better to train them, and educate them and use them as ambassadors, both on their personal networks as on the general networks and response to Dell conversations. We have some training levels in there, so everybody is more than welcome to do a training. If you do 4 trainings, you get a certification that says you're a social media professional. You can use it in your signature, and that way we help people to be as good as possible on social media and be as positive as possible on Dell on their social media as well. Because we love if they connect to their customers, if it's through their personal Facebook or their Twitter account or on the LinkedIn. There's a higher level of training for people who reach out, for example, to media. There's a lot of discussion where people say, well, what happens if finance people start reaching out to our customers and talking about our products? Well, we have learned that doesn't happen. It's something that organizes itself. Finance people are not interested to have any kind of technical discussion on a product on Dell. They never had by phone, they never had by email, they also don't on social media. So we think it's important not to be scared for that, to open it, to embrace it. Find the ambassadors in your company who can help you to roll out your social media strategy. This is what I already mentioned. 12,000 employees did at least one training, 7,000 certified, more than 50 countries we do the training. And what we also launched last week in the United States is now that we deliver social media services to our customers. So it's now also part of the Dell portfolio that if we have customers who have challenges with developing the social media strategy within their company, they can come to Dell and ask for help, where we can do a scan of their current social media activities. We can help them to train people and make sure that they feel more comfortable and use social media to improve their business. So then there's the ROI side. Everybody always asks what's the ROI of social media. Well, we tend not to look at social media from a single ROI point of view. We think it should improve your overall business, it should improve your revenue, it should improve your customer experience, your NPS score, and we tend not to specifically look at social media with a single ROI. We look at it from the whole life cycle point of view, the whole customer experience. So if it's a new customer, if you're building your brand awareness, when they buy one of your products, when they need your help, when they need advice, and in the end also to continue to have their loyalty to your brand. All of that part of the customer experience, social media should be involved. And again, it's a customer's choice. If they don't want to be on social media, they're more than welcome to send you emails, pick up the phone. And as I say, social media is not a replacement for face-to-face contact. It's still important to have face-to-face contact with your customers. So this is an example that I wanted to show you is how we use our knowledge from the Listening and Command Center for the Red Cross. Is that we built a community center for the Red Cross. There was a short video, but we don't have internet access, so I have to briefly explain what they do. The Red Cross, normally when a disaster happens, they send help, but they don't know exactly what help is needed. Do people need electricity? Do they need food? Do they need medicines? So in general, they are sending a very broad support. They send planes, they put all kinds of support in there, they fly to an area and then they try to find the victims and what need they help. With this command center, they are more able to tailor the support that people need due to the conversations that are going on online. Where you see that there is no phone conversations always possible. But in case that they have internet access, they can reach out and they can show us where they are and what kind of help they need. And unfortunately, we recently had a lot of experience using the Red Cross in the Hurricane Sandy, where the command center did a lot of good work helping to tailor the need. This is another example. Is what we do online is the social think tank. So we also use social media to build our thought leadership. When we organize think tank events, we invite between 15 and 20 stakeholders, leaders, for example, in the area of healthcare or education or open source or security. And we facilitate a group of people that discuss certain topics. And the topics are being viewed online. You can follow the discussion through live stream. You can join the conversation, and we have somebody at the table who can bring in questions from the online audience. I must say that we do this now, I think, a year. In the United States, we see it grow very fast. It's getting very, very big. In Europe, we only did 3 events so far. People still have to get used to the new way of joining a discussion, but we see it grow, and Twitter, for example, is a very good tool to get people to join the conversation and open up the conversation and bring in their view. Open source, we often talk about open source related to software, to networking. But I also would like to look at it from a communications point of view and look at it as open source media. For example, the blogs. I mean, we have the network communities like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you can name them. So the question is there still room for a blog? Or do people go to the well-known network communities and use that as their place to make their comments? We still think that there is room for blogs, but it's very important how are you writing a blog. Find the people in your company who are experts, who can build a community, who can build an audience that they connect with. Make sure that it's not too commercial from a company point of view. Make sure it's something that it has a human side, that it educates people, that they are not afraid to start the conversation with their readers, and also don't be afraid to start a discussion. You don't always agree on every subject. So we still think that there is enough room for blogs, and also put that open and use people to write for people, and not only reporters who are writing. So, some of the insights that I want to share with you today is that what we saw is to open up social media in our company and embrace it and support employees. We saw our business grow, we saw our business improve, we saw that the negative tone of voice online decreased. We see also revenue with customers that we connect with on a daily basis grows. So from our past 6 years of experience, we can say that opening your business up for social media improves your business, makes your business more social, and helps you to grow. So are there any questions? I don't know if there is time for any interaction. Are there any questions from what you saw today? No? Was it that clear? Was it that any inputs? It's Friday afternoon, right? Yeah.
If you look at the social media interactions, about 20% of your business with customers, 80% business to business. How is that with the social media interaction?
With social media, you see more interaction on the consumer side. We also have a different policy there. For example, if you look on Facebook, we have a Dell Facebook, but for example, we also have an Alienware Facebook. Alienware is the gaming brand of Dell, where you see that gamers are much more engaged and much more interactive than customers. So also from a content point of view, we upload much more on the Alienware Facebook than on the regular Facebook. On the B2B side, you see it's more difficult to get the conversation going on the business side. And that's where you need help from your employees, because on Facebook we do it as overall brands. People like the brand and they connect with that. For example, on the LinkedIn side, people do it on a personal relationship basis. So it's very important to find your salespeople or any other people to build that community online. Any others? Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time and have a lovely evening.